Throughout the Northern Forest region, recreation and tourism have always been an important part of the economic picture. A lot of rural communities are moving from resource dependence on logging, for example, and looking for other opportunities, and tourism and recreation have become more and more important.
We've seen a number of changes through the last 100 years in land ownership patterns and access. It changes and fluctuates through time. The average parcel size has decreased, and so there are more landowners with smaller parcels. And that makes access, can be more complex in gaining access to properties.
About 85% of the land in the Northern Forest is privately held. So in order for there to be real opportunities for recreation and tourists in the woods, we need the cooperation of private landowners.
We started the recreation business in 1978, Catamount Family Center. We became a not-for-profit in 2005. We do mountain biking and trail running in the summer months. During the winter months, it's cross-country skiing, snowshoeing. It's become very obvious to us over the years that it's very important to the people in this area to have this available. It's very valuable to them.
People have become increasingly concerned about the lack of access as land ownership patterns have been changing, parcels are being divided. Education may be a big step in terms of reaching out to recreationists, landowners, providers of recreational opportunities to help everybody understand we're all in this together. We were fortunate to get funding from the Northeastern States Research Cooperative to study land ownership in the Northern Forest and to, in particular, focus on what's going on with recreation on private lands in the Northern Forest.
So we've been interacting with UVM all the way into the early 70s on things like posting issues and why it occurs and where it occurs. We've been active in interacting with Lisa because these type of investigations are really important if we're going to understand the systems here and how they really are an asset to the people here. We've got to understand how they're working and what the different factors are or the different drivers.
These actions are very, very, very important because as you get people outside, out of their houses, out onto the land, then they become more invested in the land. As the properties change hands and posted signs go up, I think that as we work with people and they have a better understanding, I think we've discovered that the posted signs come down after a while.
Tourism and recreation can bring tremendously positive economic, environmental, and cultural benefits to a community. And it's really up to the local communities themselves to figure out what sort of tourism and recreation makes sense for their community and to develop it in a deliberate way that involves the voices of many community members.
There's a lot of information embedded in communities. There's a lot of information that's being developed at the state level about tourism, about opportunities in tourism, about best practices in tourism, and it doesn't always get shared across communities and states. You know, we really felt that we had to create some evidence that the paddling community could make a positive economic contribution. So in about 2004, 2005, we began talking with Lisa Chase about developing a baseline study of the economic impact of paddlers in the Northern Forest and specifically on our trail.
One of the reasons why this study came up is because when the Northern Forest Canoe Trail was getting its start, they would go into some rural communities and explain the idea of this paddler trail. And all too frequently, there was the reaction from communities that paddlers don't spend money. We're not really interested in paddlers.
We see a huge amount of potential to support the economic base of the communities through which the trail passes. One of our main program areas is called economic development. We've chosen this as a program area because the trail actually passes through 44 different communities, a combination of small cities and towns and villages, as well as working landscapes.
I think what Lisa has been able to do and what our project is all about is really sharing that information across state and community boundaries, because oftentimes it's literally a river's width away that one community is doing great work that another community could benefit from.
By involving diverse stakeholders in developing tourism and recreation plans And thinking deliberately and carefully about where a community wants to go with tourism and recreation is an essential step in terms of capturing the positive benefits of tourism and recreation in the Northern Forest.